What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Reality Bites Podcast Essay. And tonight, I am not alone yet again. I'm with a fine, young entrepreneur that is Jamie Thurston.
Fine, just now was calling me names. Now it's my fine.
When did I call you names?
No, it's fine. I'll accept.
Lonnie.
It's just so nice on the camera. When the cameras are off, there is throwing clapper around you.
I promise I don't. I can Google it. Anyways, guys, tonight we have a very exciting episode for you. What started off as a hobby, now it's a full-fledged career. She's on radio or TV. You'll find on covers of magazines and award-winning producer of movies. Tracey Lange.
Yes.
In the house, everybody.
The
Hi.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Trust me, the pleasure is all mine. There's no way I could say no.
We've tried you for season 1, but you were so busy.
As luck would have it. But here we are, save the best for last. So they say.
I love that because guys who don't know, Tracey just came out from an MC gig. Right here, went home changed because she was in high heels, looked cool, pretty, and now she's comfortable.
That's what I wanted to do because I was like, you know what? I've watched all the other episodes and it's just lekker, nice and easy, and you want that kind of feeling, right?
Of course.
I could have come in high heels and I'm sure you wouldn't have minded,
Not at
and
all.
a whole business suit and a tie and everything, which is fine. But I think sometimes you also want to, and the feeling that I get from this is that it's just a nice, easy, calm, relaxed, and that's the feeling that we
That
want
is
to
what we
portray
are,
as well, right? Yes.
100%. So, Jamie, I also know that you know Tracey.
Yes, we have mutual friends.
Yes.
She
Yeah.
lives on the road. She always past my house.
Yes, every day.
I know when Summer lives, that I call Tracey Summer. That is my name that I've called her for years. So don't call yourself.
I must get my own name for Tracy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
you're going to have
My
to.
sister's name's Tracy.
So maybe you need a
I
different
can call
name,
her
yeah.
my sister.
Oh, that
But
can
that's
work
something
too.
else in for other people's sister. Calling people sister.
She's my friend. Anyway, Trace, like I said, if not on radio or TV or not producing movies, which we'll get to later, for those who don't really know Tracey Lange, what all start?
All started, I would say, from a very young age, and I didn't realize it was something that was actually preparing me for the media industry. It was never something that I had considered. It was never something that I thought, oh, this could be a lot of fun. It wasn't that. My desire was, coming from a typical colored home, the dreams that you have is a full-time job that gives you pension and medical aid, right? If you have that job, then your life is going to be set, right? So either you can look for a job in government, as in like at the municipality, that was a good job at the time, or at the bank, or anything like Old Mutual or Sanlam, because those are good jobs, right? That's what we,
Very good jobs.
those were the eras that we grew up in. And interestingly, it was finishing school and having my mom who chats to the whole world, typically as she does, and there wasn't money for me to go and study further, and we came across this course and I thought, okay, maybe this tourism course could be fun, but again, there wasn't money, and my mom said, okay, they'll go to the bank, can make a bit of a loan, and then at the bank, she started speaking to someone in the queue, as she does. The queue stands, talks, and she says to this lady, the lady's chatting, the lady works at a law firm, and she says to the lady, oh, isn't there a job for my daughter? Just for fun. She now just matriculated, but she does, don't pay her, she must just come work. For fun, she must gain experience. And the lady said to her, actually, not the place where I'm working now needs a job, but it's the previous place that I worked at. Call them. My mom called me, she ran to the car, because my dad was waiting in the car. She still finished the things at the bank. Went to the car, said to my dad, listen, call Tracey. Called me, and she said to me, listen here, this is the number you must call. Get dressed, put on your Sunday best, typical, like way zonnagklere. Put on your Sunday best and go to this man.
That same day?
Yeah.
Sure.
Go say to him, they're looking for a receptionist, you will come and help. So I put on my clothes because my mom said I must go. And then she said, your dad's going to come fetch you now, so be ready. You'll be there in 20 minutes, so get into the bath, get into the shower, whatever, just get done. Make sure that you are there. And then I got done. My dad dropped me and he said to me, bye, I must go to work, so you must walk home after this.
Oh my word.
As one does. And I walked in and I said, hallo meneer Pinaar, my ma het gesê ek moet kom, ek moet hier kom vir ontvangsdame, I must be a receptionist. And he said, but I don't need a receptionist. I said to him, so I don't know. My mom told me I must be here. Apparently, there's a job. That's all I said. I just said to him, my mom said that's what I must do. He said, but who did your mom speak to? Anyway, so I'm like, okay, let me try and get hold of my mom quickly. Fortunately, cell phones were there already. So I call my mom. She says, no, a lady by the name of Stini Lamprecht said, you must go. So I tell him. He then gets hold of this lady, comes out a couple of minutes later and says to me, okay, let me chat to you. It's a Friday morning, right? It's a Friday morning. We chat to each other. He says to me, you're very, very young. You're 18. Are you sure you don't want to go study? I said to him, well, we're going to go do this course, but I'm not sure if that's fully what I want to do. And in essence, I also don't want to waste people's money, right? The only reason my parents were going to take the loan as well was because my mom said to me, you are paying this back. And my mom is very strict. And my mom and dad both very firm. From the age of 16 when I started working at Woolies as a cashier, paychecks, there was part of my paycheck that went to my mother, and whether it covered anything, it wasn't the point. My mom said it's the principle. Because if you can't budget with 100 Rand, you're never going to be able to budget with 10,000 or 50,000 or 100,000 Rand. Let's be very clear. Don't think you need a lot of money. If you can't manage that amount, you can't manage that either. So it's always been a very clear thing, like, cool, so if you borrow money from mom or dad, that those things will be paid back, right? So if that loan was going to come, I was going to have to pay it back.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I said to him, well, this is what's going to happen. He said to me, okay, let's see, I might call you later. And then he called me later that afternoon and said, okay, Monday morning you can start here as receptionist.
From the Friday.
From the Friday.
Push and there you go.
Never did go and study, so never touched the loan. Thank heavens. So thank heavens, that was fine. Listen, it was a job, office job, Monday to Friday, 1,500 Rand a month. But I was fine because I was going to be very committed and I learned what I needed to learn. But my journey with this gentleman who was 84 and still practicing attorney, right? He taught me a lot and I learned a lot from him. But it was also him and him pushing me. And through the work that I did there, that the lady who met my mom at the bank, Stini, she was linked with me one day for a bond transaction. So, you know the law firms, if you buy property, right? So you have bonds and you have your, bonds and now I forgot the other one. Bonds and transfers, that's what it is. Bonds and transfers, and then you have your bond cancellations, right? So you have these different departments. So I'd started as receptionist, moved on to collections, did litigation, and then started in the bonds and transfers, which I loved. So I was just always like quite keen and hungry to learn whatever there was. And then we were linked for a transaction. And she enjoyed working with me. She didn't tell me who she was until later when she said to me, I'm the person that your mom met, and I've heard only good things about you. Our company wants to now hire an assistant in our bonds department. Please, don't you want to come and interview for it? And I did. It was about a year later, I interviewed for it, and I went into that. We did fully bonds and transfers, and then I ended up doing developments, property developments, and in that met a property developer that said to me, come and work only for me. Please just come and work only for me.
In demand, woman.
He then said, then you take care of all our transactions because you know the entire process, so take care of that. And I worked with him, and also we became such good friends, but consistently stayed in touch with all the previous bosses. I stayed in touch with the first gentleman as well, and we always touched base and everything. But then this gentleman in property, within a few weeks of us working together, he kept saying to me, are you sure this is what you want to do? Why? Why do you want to waste your personality in an office at a desk? And he said this to me enough time. We got along really well. Don't get me wrong. Like, we did pretty well. We worked together. Like, we called him like a house on fire. But he always just said to me, please, you are so young. Don't waste your personality. I beg you, don't waste your personality. And he said it enough times for me to decide to do something about it. And then, saw a course in TV presenting, decided, this could be fun. Leanne Manners, Peter and Doro, Freek Robinson, the likes, flew up and down to Joburg. And then again, in typical mom fashion, my mom said to me, ooh, you can't just start on TV. You must gain experience. You see this radio station in Somerset West? Go knock on the door, call the station manager, and tell her you're going to come work for free. Which I did. Again, at this point, I'm already in my 20s. Listen, I look at it and sometimes think, the people actually hit me in the door is astounding that they didn't go, but hoe invite? Wie het jou genooi? Because that's what I said. I would always say, yeah, but my mom said I was And because you told him, I think it was like, yo, she listens to her mother. She needs to pay attention, let her come in. And I did. I called the station manager, said I would love to meet her. Like, I called the station manager. You know why? Because my mom said, there's the number of the radio station. Call it. So I did, and I said, I'd like to come and see you because I'd like to find out what happens behind the scenes. She said to me, please, I'd love to meet you. And also because my opening line is, my mom said I must call you. And then I did, I pitched up.
I'm gonna use that line.
It's worked twice. So
Do you know, it's working. Try it.
It's working.
I stopped using it, I'm going to use it tomorrow. I'm deciding now, from tomorrow I'm using it again. And I pitched up at the studio, at the offices. I introduced myself to Erna Ridge. I said to her, I'm Tracey. We had a great chat. And she said to me, are you in a rush to get back to the office? I said to her, no, not really.
Where's this going? I can see where this is going.
And she says to me, well, listen, it's 1:45. Don't you want to read the news at 1 o'clock?
Exactly. I knew it.
And I said to her, well, I suppose I must give it a shot. Because my thing is also always right, whether you know or whether you don't. Sometimes you must just say yes and figure it out. Once you've jumped, you have no choice but to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Then now you can't disappoint. That's my thing. Don't disappoint. So I said to her, and she said to me, who must I call? I said, I don't know. Maybe call my sister. I think my sister's at home. So she tries to call my mom. My mom's not at home. We call my dad. My dad's out with clients, so he's not answering his phone. Call my sister. She doesn't have a radio in the house. What does she do? She runs outside, stops the neighbor as he pulls out of the garage. She says to me, you need to turn onto the radio now. My sister's going to be on radio. I read my first news bulletin, finished it. She said to me, okay, when you are done with your training, come and pop in on weekends and we'll start giving you training. And at that point, I was still working full-time at the property developer. So it was full days, weekends, Saturday mornings, I'd be up at 4 o'clock to go and get the newspaper to see what's happening and be at the studio by 5. So by 6 o'clock, we're on air. I wasn't even on air. Please note, I was sitting and training. And you're not getting paid for this. And that's what I would do. And then I would sit, finish that breakfast show until the next show starts.
Yeah.
And sit and take all of that in on both shows. So it would be the one week after week after week. And just learning whatever I could.
I actually want to say that is so important. People forget that.
Yes.
You came there and you learned first. Sometimes people now think, oh, there's someone doing it, I can also do it. They go jump in and then they realize, oh, I'm now in a fire I didn't want to be in.
Yes.
But that thing of learning first, I think that's exactly what I do as a job. You prove that it can work before you do it. And you got that.
Completely. You have to. I understand that there's this need for, yes, I've either gotten my degree, and I think probably that's part of what fueled me, the fact that I could not go, I didn't have the papers, right? I didn't have the papers, I couldn't walk in and go, listen, but I've got this, so you actually should be paying me, whatever. I didn't care. The reality was I felt I needed to come and learn, and here's the thing, we don't realize that knowledge is worth 20 times more than what people can pay you. So
100%.
what I now apply years later at work, and I work with people that have been in it for years, but I've not gained that knowledge because they didn't start there. And I look at what I can then ask for, what I can say, because I go, I actually bring this to the table. The others don't. You want me to now produce a show? I can produce an entire show, sort out all logistics with every interview. I can pre-record. You want me to edit that interview? I can do that too. Why? Because I've done all of that. There's no internet. Guess who's going to jump in and do all of that stuff? I can. I've done it. I've had to graft. I've gone through all of that paces. By the time I walk in, the internet and everything else is an absolute bonus. I don't need those things to be able to do my show.
But that's the thing, you've done the hustle, the grind. And they always say it takes 10 years to be an overnight sensation or success. And you've been through that. And like Jamie said, now people see the glam and this, but they forget the hardships, the sacrificing, the non-pay. And now that you are in your element, in your season, in your era, they're like, she thinks you made it. Ciao!
But she did make it. Yeah, she made it.
She worked hard. Like I've been through there. Like also starting in my career.
Yeah.
Paid 1,500 Rand a month.
Yes. Yes.
But I grafted. I said to ask mom and daddy for petrol money, but I did.
And what time did you wake up in the morning? And then what time did you go to bed at night?
That was 3 o'clock in the morning.
But you understand my point? Without hesitation, because
Without hesitation.
there's a very clear, I have no choice. I have no choice. If you go, I've got no backup plans. Like there's no one standing behind me going, Shema Sweetie Pie, if this is not going to work out, I'll be there to sort it out for you. There is not that. I was always very clear about the fact that I would be my backup plan. And also, I think one of the other biggest driving forces for me was my mom and dad had both come from really tough backgrounds, right? And despite their backgrounds, they had come together and created a very peaceful life for my sister and I. So yes, there wasn't money, but we had a very peaceful home. My sister and I loved being at home because home was nice, home was comfortable, right? And I think that's the dream. A lot of people don't realize how priceless peace is as well. And I always said, I knew because my mom and dad had to start working so young. My dad left school at 15 to go and work for his
Wow.
family.
Yeah.
My mom left school at 16. They worked for their families. Neither one of them matriculated because they couldn't, right? But I always said I wanted to make sure that regardless of whatever it is that I do in life, I would want to take care of my mom and my dad in their old age years, and I want their senior years to be like their childhood should have been. That was my driving force. And I think one of the greatest things was the first time I could make sure my parents could go on a lekker holiday that I could pay for. And I think that is still one of my proudest moments. You can give me all the other stuff. That to me means more because I knew I could do that for them, right? And it's those things to me that's priceless. And I will put in all the hours, 24/7, if that's all I can get, just to be able to do that.
That's so sweet. Gosh.
It is. And also with your mother, with her background and your father, and she's pushing you to go to this job, do this. She also made you independent at a young age, and also tough love. Go. I'm not being with the phone because station manager is calling me. You go do the things.
Yes. And do you see how important that is? I get that sometimes you must help kids and push them a little and maybe help them a little here and there by giving them, like in her case, she gave me the number, right? She said, there's the number, call. But to your point, she didn't call for me.
Yes, you still have to actually do the thing.
You have to do the work. And that's how I got everything else from there, right? Everything else had happened from there. And I'm grateful for that. My dad was the one who was always the one that said, no, just try it. So at school I would go, they said maybe there's swimming class. No, there's a swimming team. I couldn't swim, but I told my dad, so my dad said, I just go try it, and I nearly drowned. But I tried, and my dad said, go try.
You tried and you survived it.
Because it was completely the wrong team. I wasn't supposed to be in that team. I should have gone like in the beginners. So I would have just tried it because my dad said try. And then often my dad was the one that gave you the first nudge, and then my mom was the one that kind of pushed you afterwards if you went, I don't know if I can.
That sounds like a liquor tag team.
Very much so. So I would go, I don't know now, I'm struggling, this. And then my mom says to me, if you say you can't, you can't. Just so you know. If you can't, you're right, you can't. But if you say you can, you're also right, you can. And I'll never forget that.
That's
She
such a
always
cool
says,
saying.
Yeah. If you can't, you absolutely can't. If you say you can, you also can. Because it's up to you.
Yeah. It makes you change your mind, like, because you say I can't, but I actually can.
Yeah.
So let me prove her wrong.
Yes. Yeah, completely.
So now the radio journey has started now on weekends on community radio.
Community radio at this stage. And then I was still doing full time in the week at the developers. And then they needed a program manager at the radio station. And because of what happens if you manage property and you do bonds, transfers, all of that, there's a lot of finance that comes with that. There's incredible logistics. There's a lot of deadlines and things. And she said to me, the station manager said, I know this is what you do. I need a program manager. I can train you in radio. But that kind of admin I need. Would you be keen to come and work for us full time? So I said to her, I would. But what happens to Saturdays and the show? She said to me, that still happens if you're willing to do it, but we'll need you in the weekdays for this. And then I went into overdrive. So the moment she went, cool, that's what you need to do, I listened to every single radio station that you can think of. You speak of the radio station, I'd wake up in the morning, I'd go from one radio station to the next, to the next, to the next. I still often listen that way. I can tell you what time news happens at which stations. I can tell you who's on at what time. I can tell you what time they do certain links because I pay attention. I can hear immediately when there's a new voice on news on weekends on another radio station. I'll go, oh, that's a different voice. I haven't heard that voice yet. And I'll be like, okay, cool. And it's just how I listen. It was very important for me to understand radio. And the only way to understand was to listen.
Yeah.
So I listened to every type of radio. So I listened to commercial and I listened to community because community is very different to commercial.
Correct.
Your licensing conditions are different. So commercial radio, you have 90% music for the most part and 10% talk, right? Which sounds little, but if you listen to radio, it works out, right?
Works out nice.
Commercial, 60% music, 40% talk. So it's more because you need to make sure that you educate your listeners.
Yeah.
Your language percentages, you get your licensing based on that. There's a lot of those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So I love that. So I understood that. And again, you see, because of those things, I understand nowadays. So when I do a lot of training at work now for the young people, I can explain that. A lot of other people can't tell them that. I understand it. I get it. I know why it's put in that way. Why do you still need some things where you go, but why should that still be there? Isn't that old school radio? I understand why you're asking it. Let me explain why that is in place. So that's kind of how things started. So then I'm community. And at the time when I was doing the community radio station, Jerome Topley from RSG, we had met up.
That's my cousin.
You're joking.
Yeah.
No, don't lie.
Yes. Jerome Top is my cousin.
Is he serious?
I had no idea. Now I know serious.
Are you serious?
Yes. He had his own TV shows on.
Yes, he did.
South African show, yes.
So then we met up, and here's the thing with him. He said to me, yeah, absolutely, come and meet me at the RSG studios. And if you don't trust me, because people have a lot of things to say about the industry, bring your parents along.
Oh,
There comes mommy again. I love it.
There goes my mom and my dad. So I go, listen, I need to get to Sea Point on Thursday to meet this man. You need to go drop me, please. Mom and dad, there they are. Dropped me, they drove me there. And it was purely because of that thinking. Like, am I going to be safe? Is everything okay? Met him, he recorded me, he said to me, cool, come for a bit of training. I'm going to train you in news because I want to introduce you to Good Hope FM. And he said, but the best way to get in is on news because they need English and Afrikaans newsreaders. They mostly have English.
Yeah.
And he started my training, recorded, sent the demo, and I mean, up until today, I still can't believe this happened, right? Because to me, this was meant to be a hobby. To me, that full-time job of program manager was now a lot of fun because I commit fully, like the same way I did at the law firms, right? That's why people trusted me to take over and take care of their jobs when they weren't there. They would go, cool, you need to transfer millions per day because that's what you do. If you're registering properties, you're transferring millions per day. They would trust me with that because they knew I was trustworthy, right? I put in the time. If you ask me to sweep here now, I'll be the best sweeper. The whole building will book me to come and sweep because that's how I operate. I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. I might not have wanted to do it, but I'm not going to do it half-assed. That's
And
not
I've
how
seen
I
your
operate.
work. You
know.
friend.
Ek kan skoonmaak, jong, moenie speel nie. I can clean. So, but to your point, I will put in my everything. And I was sure that program manager was actually going to be my gig, right? And then Jerome had been sent to Gerard at Good Hope FM, and Gerard called me once. Gerard, I apologize, and I'll admit it now. He called me once. He said, please send me your CV. And I said, okay, I will. And I didn't because the program manager thing was working. And then he called me again. And I said, oh, I did send it. He said, oh, send it again.
Third time's the charm.
And it gets better because I got to know him later. So then it becomes even more interesting. And then he called me again. He said to me, are you sure you sent the email? I said to him, yes, I did. And at this point, I still hadn't sent the email. Now, firstly, program managers will not follow up because there's a lot of people who want to get into radio. And there's just like the fact that he was following up based on just a CV, right? So I said to him, no, I did send it, but this was the address. He says to me, no, that's a misspelling. I did not send it at all, but I lied. Sorry, Gerard. He says to me, this is the address. Send it now. I sent it. Minutes later, he responds going, this is our trainer, Lenita Crawford. Set up a couple of sessions. She will train you in the style that we want you to read the news, and then she'll come back to me.
Love Lenita.
Lenita is...
She was my lecturer.
Yes, Lenita is fantastic. Anyway, so I go, okay, cool, let's start the training. She was tough.
She's a tough cookie.
She was
But
incredibly
she's
tough.
amazing.
First training, got home as well. I said to my mom, I'm never going to be a newsreader. Never, because I suck. My mom said again, no, if you say you can't, you can't. If you say you can, you can. Okay, so now I must practice every day. And the following week I go back, it's like I got worse. She's like, oh, what? Oh my God. And you know what? It's just you're overthinking it, right?
Overthinking it, yeah.
Third session, I'm like, I don't even know why I'm doing these sessions. At this rate, it feels like it's never going to happen in any case because I feel like I'm sucking, right? In this session, she walks out, takes a call. Gerard comes in. He goes, hi, I'm the Gerard. Lovely to meet you. you come highly rated by Lanita.
Sure.
So I go, this woman has not said a word that was nice to me. At no point has she said to me, well done. She has been incredibly tough. I felt like I've been sucking. But I think it was just her way of obviously just making sure that I stay on the, very firm and getting things done. So anyway, and then he said to me, one more training session. See if you still need after that. We'll take it from there. I did 2 more. And then he called me and he said to me, listen here, I need to stand in this week. And it was Leanne Williams who had taken the day off. And I went and stood in on the news on that Saturday. It was my very first time. And a few months later, he said to me, Tracy, one of our newsreaders have left. Now it's middle of the year. Never happens.
Yeah,
so
never.
Newsreaders leave in the middle of the year. Newsreaders left. So I started with Good Hope FM. I read for the first time on the 15th of September. So a couple of weeks later, he said to me, this newsreader left. Would you like that slot? I said, absolutely. And then December came. I stood in on weekdays because I was on leave from the other radio station. And then they came to me and then they heard me do the English and Afrikaans. And he said to me, so listen, would you be keen on a full-time slot from next year, April?
Sure.
And then there it was. Now here's what's interesting about Gerard and the fact that he followed up on the emails. When I got to know him, I remember one day sitting in his office and looking at his desk and him having over 5,000 unread emails. So Gerard is not good with emails. He was not good with emails. So the fact that he actually was looking out for my email was very astounding. And I think it's also just where you are meant to be, right? I think that's the thing. And I often check in on Gerard. I often just pop him a message and go, thank you. Just to say thank you. Even after all these years, I think we forget the importance of a thank you. To the people that have opened the doors for us.
100%.
We must remember, even if you don't see them, just pop a message randomly and just say thank you.
I love that because now you're in commercial radio.
Yes.
And commercial radio as a
Same.
station program manager.
Program manager. I did become station manager eventually.
Look at this boss lady move. So now you're on Good Up FM. When did the breakfast show start with Guy and Carl?
So this is what's interesting. It was actually, so at the point we were still afternoon drive. So we had moved from the one team and then Guy and Carl started. So then we were hosting the afternoon drive show. And then they came to us and they went, so prior to that already, that was when another email that I sent because my mom said, just try it. I was like, oh, but now I'm on Good Hope, let me try. Because now I can use the Good Hope name, right? Because that's what people don't use. People aren't smart. Use your own platform. If you've got this platform now, use the platform. Why aren't you doing that? So I don't understand young people when they are doing it anything and anywhere on any radio, any TV. It's your space to use it, right? You need to be smart. No one's going to make you famous. No one's going to open the doors. You need to make that happen, right? And I Googled an email address for Pasella.
I remember that we had the conversation.
I
years
Googled,
ago.
I saw Pasella, and I went, I'm going to find an email address. Found an email address, and I said, hi, I present the news on Good Hope FM. You can hear me in the afternoons. I do English and Afrikaans. And I want to know if I can't do an audition. Come do an audition like never,
This is
ever.
definition of fit your life.
Definitely fit your life and fit your
Fit your
career.
life.
And Pasella is mainly Afrikaans, so.
Exactly. And then 2 weeks later, they emailed me back and said, hi, please send us your number. We'd like to call you. And then they did an audition. While they were busy shooting an insert, they said to me, meet us on location with Dieter Vogt.
Yes.
And they were like, please, can you just do the audition? And a week later, they were like, loved it. Please, can you fly to Durban on Thursday? We want you to present an insert.
wow.
And from there it started. And that was how Bravoer remembered me, because they remember seeing me in Pasella,
Afrikaans.
Afrikaans. And that is how I got Bravoer. And then it was in this time that I started that then Good Hope FM came and said, listen, we're
Breakfast.
taking this entire team to the breakfast show. And that was a journey of note. A journey that got us onto the Espresso show
Yep. Every week, every Friday
every
or
Thursday, that we would present full, like our live show
While
while
being
the
on the
TV show
show.
was on. And that was fantastic. It was so much fun. And that's how we got to meet and just kind of hang out with each other more. But it was the doors that opened from there, right?
Because I remember then Bravo started. And I remember we had a conversation.
Yes.
Like, I want to go for audition. And I was like, you're going to get it. Go, 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 go. Because I remember we stood there in the one corner
Exactly.
talking.
Exactly.
You're
It
going to
was
get
while
it.
at Espresso that morning when I
Yes.
said, oh, this afternoon they want me to come for
Correct.
the audition. Yes.
And then you got it. And then boom. Solidified you
What I think
as
is
a
really
full-fledged.
amazing with you also.
Yeah.
You're so good at your Afrikaans. And
But it's my first language.
is it?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm
Tries to
because
move.
your English is so quiet,
Tries to
you also so quiet in Afrikaans. Because I think people also forget how many Afrikaans people are in this country because English is spoken all the time.
Yes.
And it's actually something Jerome told me long because I also told him I want to get into talking because I also have a mouth.
Yeah.
Praat dan Afrikaans.
Ja, maar as moenie my slaan nie. I can't speak Afrikaans properly, but I grew up Afrikaans. And he even said, get into Afrikaans, there's a lot of
Yes.
opportunities in Afrikaans. And what I'm hearing from your journey also is you saw that opportunity in Afrikaans. And a lot of people don't get to see that.
Yeah.
That is, and I'm saying this because I was told that there's a lot of money in Afrikaans.
Oh, yes.
There
And-
definitely is. There
Yeah.
definitely is. Listen, at some point I must also tell you, I do think it's the playing field has evened out a little in terms of the money that's available, both in Afrikaans and English. Purely just because I think it depends on where you are now. I think in Joburg there might be a little bit more from another perspective, from an English perspective,
Correct.
and then Cape Town slightly more in Afrikaans. But then some parts of Joburg, again, I can say to you, there's a lot of money in Afrikaans there. So it really just depends. It really absolutely depends. But I can tell you, being able to host that and having noticed that the gap was there, it's opened doors for me all over. And the fact that I could visit so many different places and meet the most
Yeah.
incredible people.
Yeah.
So from now radio presenting, now TV presenting, to producing.
Which was a very, very
producing
big
TV.
surprise. Listen, yeah, produced TV for a while, yes,
Yes.
because remember Tussen Ons
Tussen
came,
Ons, mhm.
and then I produced Tussen Ons, and Studio 3 happened as well. And then, but prior to that already, I had, you see the doors that had opened, the interviews that I had done with people like Tim Tron and Kobus van der
Yes.
Berg and Dion Meyer.
Legends in the Afrikaans world and entertainment.
Absolutely. And having chatted to them over the years consistently at events.
Yeah.
And then one day they called me and said, please, can we just have a meeting? I said, yeah, sure, let's chat. And I thought, whatever could it be like, whatever, I'll just say, you see that typical thing, just say yes. Went, had lunch, and they went, listen, we would like to have a female producer alongside us. There's a lot of things and a lot of plans that we have in mind. And your name had come up a few times with all of us. Would you be keen to join us? And I said to them, listen, I don't know what to do and I don't know how it works. And they were like, but we'll figure that out. Don't worry. Are you on board? And I said, well, clearly I am. And then what did I do? I called someone else that I worked with, Tanya, and I said to her, you've done all kinds of production on TV for years in terms of movies as well. What do I need to know? And she said, come see me, I'll show you everything that you need to know. So you see, you also need to reach out as well. I couldn't now just wait for them to tell me, okay,
Yeah.
cool, so this is... No, I asked. Already I reached out and asked, can you guide me a little bit? And that's what happened. And then our first one was done, and that was Griekostad that I did with him. And Griekostad, we won the SAFTA for Best Feature Film for
yes,
2020, which was incredible. We were very, very proud of that. And what was even crazier that year is that the evening before, so the SAFTAs happens on the Saturday, but the Friday evening it's the SAFTA Craft Awards. So then the people behind the scenes, they get nominated and they get awarded. So your editors, they get awarded, right? So already that Friday we had won the best editor for a feature film. We'd already won that as Griekostad, and I had hosted the SAFTA Craft Awards, right? I was the host of it.
Correct.
The following day, it's the main awards. I'm not hosting, but obviously there we are. And because it was COVID times, everything was virtual. And they announced the winner. And I remember my co-host of the Friday evening, Coconut Cows, Lese Khotlabi, she then sends me a message going, I am watching this and I'm going, oh my gosh, there you are receiving the award for Best Feature Film.
Wow.
And she's going like, this is your first movie. This is insane.
It's insane.
It's insane. And then after that, we did, obviously still kind of COVID times, we did Klein Karoo 2 together. And there we broke records on box office because it was the highest number of downloads on box office yet that South Africa had seen. And then Heart of the Hunter came. And knowing that we made history this year as the first African film ever to hit #1 internationally on Netflix.
Wow.
Boom.
Was major. I just remember sitting, because we constantly could see it, right? So we had launched on the Friday, we had premiered on the Friday. By Monday morning, we were #1 globally. So within 4 days, and the numbers that you see, you see within a week, right? So
Yeah.
it's from Monday to Monday. We had only premiered on the Friday. Monday morning, we were number one. And then we were like, okay, cool. So that means it was almost 11 million views, 11 million downloads by then. Let's push, let's see if we can make this. Because I was just happy with us being number one in South Africa. Let's be very clear. I was like, listen,
Of
South
course.
Africa number one, I'm good with that. Like, that would be great, right? And by Saturday, we were number one. And then Sunday, more messages trickled in from people all over the world going, you are number one here, you are number one here, you are number one in so
Wow.
many different countries.
Oh.
And then at that point, we were number one, at number 4, I think, in the US. And Monday morning, woke up to this mail going, this happened. Tuesday, Wednesday came, they're like, we're still at number one. Second week, still at number one. And again, and at that point, Netflix was just like, guys, this is incredible.
Yeah.
First African film to do it.
That's not lucky, that's hard work.
It's incredibly
That's
hard.
destiny, I
Yeah.
feel.
Yo, but it's insane because if I look at the people that we have worked with, right, and the fact that we could showcase our actors the way that we did in that movie is spectacular. So there were some reviews. There was one person I was like, oh, please just come, give me a new story first. First give me a new story. And this person said, where are the new faces? Okay, and I went, firstly, there were quite a few new faces. Secondly, quite a few of those actors that you saw in there weren't exposed to other people in the country. Because if you look at some of the actors in Joburg, some people in Cape Town and in the rest of the country don't know them. Some people in Cape Town, actors here, people in Joburg don't know. We were showcasing the best of what South Africa has to offer. And also, if you look at the amount of the investment, who are you going to bring to the party? You're going to bring your best.
The best.
We had the absolute best. Right in front of the camera, behind the camera, in every aspect. Mandla Dube, our director, phenomenal, spectacular guy. And we just had an incredible, incredible time doing it together. And I think many of us are still on a high. And then, listen, it doesn't hurt you because you kind of go, this is fantastic. And then the gifts come from Netflix just going, congratulations, well done. You go like, this is real. Damn, this is real. It's incredible. It really is insane to think that it happened. I would never have imagined it.
Because, like you said, Tim Dronen called you and say that your name came up in a room. And you probably wonder who was the person to speak about you in a room behind closed doors, but as you knowing, not being there. And then they give you the call. You're like, cool, I'm wet behind the ears regarding producing film. I'm gonna say yes and figure it out later. And then boom, win after win after win after win. And you sit here like, is this my new journey? That's just the new thing. Am I Tracey Lange, the award-winning movie producer? Oh my goodness, I'm so proud. I got a lot choked up there
Definitely.
now. Because I've seen your journey
Yeah.
from 12, 14 years ago
Yes.
to now.
Yeah.
I remember you messaged me to say, Lucian, this is my film coming out on the Friday. Please go like and share and stuff. I'm like,
Oh.
without a doubt, let me go on there. Boom, boom, boom. Insane. And I watched it. So, guys, it's still on the line.
It's still there, it's still there.
It will never go anywhere on Netflix.
Yeah.
How did the Netflix thing come about, though? Because as South Africa, you think, cool, it must go to the cinema, and that will stay, it will die there. How did you guys navigate
You know
that?
what's the great thing about Netflix, though, and what we often forget is that South African films don't do well at cinemas.
No.
Over the years, it's been a battle. People will be willing to spend the money on foreign films, but they won't spend the money on South African films.
Correct.
And I think now that you have the streaming platforms, being able to take advantage of that has proven that South Africans do want to watch our movies. And actually now it's even more comfortable. The moment you make it so easy for them, it just works like a charm. Klenkaroo 2 proved exactly the same thing. The fact that people could watch it, on box office. The journey with Netflix was interesting. We had known that they had meetings here in Cape Town, and we threw ourselves into those meetings and went, here we are, let's meet, let's see what we can do. And it's incredible. Like you think like, okay, cool, massive, it's Netflix, and they are huge. But they just normal, decent, like human beings is willing to chat to you and go, okay, cool, that's interesting. Let's see what we must do here. Let's see what we can do there. And that's what's nice. So it was a very cool journey.
I love that.
Didn't even have to say my mommy sent me. You
Hey?
didn't have to say my mother sent me.
No, not even,
That's
no.
one. I think that's one. So Trey, from now being award-winning movie producer, multiple times over to hosting big shows like Dancing with the Stars, the Safters, MC major corporate events everywhere. Where does it stop?
I hope it doesn't stop anytime soon. Let's just go there first. No. No. I know.
What's next? Like, what have you got in the pipeline?
Listen, there's quite a few things that I'm busy planning, but I'm one of those, I like to keep my cards very close to my chest. I'm one of those, like, I keep it right here and I'll reveal it later. And for no other reason but the fact that a lot of people say you don't want to tell people because people's bad energies could wish ill. That's actually not why I don't tell people. I'm actually very sensitive to people's response to what I tell them. So if I tell you something and your immediate reaction is slightly negative, then you put me off it. Even though I'm very sure that that's what I want, suddenly I question things. So I'm quite okay then just not telling anyone. Up until the moment when I figured everything out and now I present it to you. So I've become very smart like that and I've become even more strict about that. And I remember I saw something the other day because someone also asked me, so like, what are you getting up to? Because you're not sharing anything. And I said to her, just because I'm not sharing doesn't mean I'm not getting up to anything.
Something's cooking. That's
None of your business.
But I can tell you, dreaming, I'd like to go even more and even bigger, and that this just doesn't stop. My biggest desire is also always to know that I've opened a door here or there for others. That to me is a big thing. If I know that I could have given an opportunity, then I'm happy. What you do with that opportunity is up to you, right? I've given you the opportunity, I've opened the door. If you step through it and you just stand in that doorway, that's your baby. If you fully step through it and go, now let me show you what I can do, then I'm very proud
That's
of you.
your mother speaking there. That's your
I love that because there's also a time where you're like, I've done so much, I'm going to step back a little bit. Because now you're still doing mainstream radio,
Yes.
9 till 12. How's that going?
That is going so well. I think it also just is amazing to work at the station that I work. KFM 94.5 is, do you know I've been there now 6 years? I spoke
Wow.
about it. It's the longest I've ever been at a station.
It feels like it was the other day.
Completely. I am shocked by it. But the support that I get from all of them, I mean, currently we are doing a TLC, the Tracey, we launched a Tracey Lange Cares party.
Oh, cute.
Because
Nice.
the elections happened, right? And all I asked people to do is I wanted them to sign up as members, the companies, and select a charity. Then from now up until Mandela Day, we will collect warm items and you donate it to your charity. So what's been amazing is that actually so many people have signed up and KFM has put this all together so that we can reach more people and actually keep more young children warm, because there's a great need, especially in our province,
Yeah.
all over the world, but you know, especially where we can, charity starts at home, let's help here. KFM has been fantastic in terms of just encouraging me with everything. I mean, the way that they would support me with the moment I said Heart of the Hunters, please can you guys all go and watch it, and how they would get excited and share things and the articles that they wrote and made sure everyone else knew about it. Everything. If I win an award, that has nothing to do with radio. KFM is there first to promote it.
Oh.
They would be the first ones to write an article. Last year, we got to go to the Rugby World Cup. They were the first ones to come and go, let's sit, I want to speak about this. What was the experience like? Let's amplify this. It's like actually having your best friend behind you all the time cheering you on.
And
That's
they're
how it
paying you.
feels. Do you know?
And they're paying you, I like that.
They pay me to be my best friend. It's nice.
So for that young girl that's at home now, Tracey, looking up at you and be like, she's done so much and she's achieved so much in her life. At a young age, I mean, Tracey, you are a young baby girl.
Not that young anymore. I'm feeling it now. Ja, nou, look, we're at that age now. My ma het altyd gesê,
It's winter.
ou drank is vir 'n lelike ding.
Not for you. You looking beautiful still.
Who listen to my hips sometimes that I don't know.
You don't lie. You don't lie. It's not
My
lying.
hips and my knees, hey.
I'm there too.
I tried to do flow rider low the other day because I was out at a party. Oh, I got home, I couldn't walk up the stairs. I walked up the first day. I was like, oh,
Shame.
you know, hold on first, my knees.
Get home, mate. Get home, mate.
But yeah.
But what message would you give to that young girl sitting there and being like, What if? Is this possible even?
I would say it absolutely is possible. Your job is to just say yes, regardless of what it is that you feel. If you feel fear, your job is to just say yes, feel the fear and do it anyway. That's it. That's it. Go, let me just give it a shot. We don't have any other life that we have the opportunity to try. Try it. I promise you, even if it feels like you're failing, you're probably not. You realize years later, oh, and I have that because age is now at my side. You see, I have years to look back on. So now I go, oh, that is why I had to fail there. Because if I didn't fail this, actually, I wouldn't understand this. I know why that happened.
Yeah.
So I've got that counting in my favor now. I promise you, it's not failure. It's just a stepping stone.
Yes.
It really is. It's
It's
not
a
a
lesson to
stumbling
learn.
block. It's a stepping
Yeah.
stone. It's how you see it.
I want to ask something. I don't know if this is allowed.
Go for it.
But when someone heard that I'm going to be talking to you, they said, I know it's a Thursday, but can you ask her if she can give us a flow joke Friday?
I think we're always ready with a flow joke.
I am.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
What do you call a deer with no eyes?
Oh, I know that. And no idea.
But what do you call a deer with no eyes and no legs?
I still have no idea.
There you go.
Well done! I didn't know that!
You did it.
I'm telling that one tomorrow. I'm telling that one. I'm telling that
You
one.
must,
Thank
because
you.
I was like, maybe wait. I did it yesterday on Express, and I'm like, I have to do this one. A flow joke Friday. Our Father's Day
I love
joke.
it. I love it.
I had that.
I love
I'm
it.
like, what? Still no idea.
I love that.
But Tracey, thank you so much for gracing us with your public personality,
Thank
your
you.
expertise, your wisdom, and just guiding us through your life until now.
No, definitely got so many lessons, so much inspiration from you. I'm sure you
Thank
inspired
you.
a lot of our viewers as well. Gosh.
I hope so. I hope
No,
so.
definitely
And
do.
thank you for what you guys are doing and giving us the platform to actually just sit and reflect again and go,
But that's
actually,
the
how
thing.
great is that we are able to do that and go, sure, okay. We've done
I
a bit,
did
still a
that.
bit to go.
I did that. Like
Yes, exactly.
Because
thank
remembering
you.
it, you're learning again.
Yes, indeed.
So thank you for making time for us
Anytime.
right here in Reality Bites.
Let's do a little soul cheers.
Cheers!
Cheers to you,
Cheers.
cheers to you.
Cheers to you!
I'm taking a sip.
Let's go for it.
That's good.
Nice.
To many more successes, my friend.
Thank
and
you.
many more heights.
Thank
Where the
you.
sky not be the limit, but the galaxy be yours.
Oh, I like
Ooh, this
that.
man is preaching.
Oh, I love it.
made that up now.
What did they say
Write
as
it
well? The
down.
sky isn't the limit, it's just another playing field.
Boom! Also,
I'll meet you there.
so also helped you, you know.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, you are awake after that.
The inspiration
Now,
came.
great idea came by eating a salad. This of soul.
Shoo. They must pay double for that lie. Yes,
Yay!
Leave me alone, Jamie. But thank you so much for being here.
It was amazing
For
actually
being
with
a
your
guest.
solution.
Presenter, host.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I feel like I've actually grown myself as a speaker. I need to get better with my mouth.
In which way?
No, we'll keep it
Of
there.
the
Same.
deliverables. Of the deliverables. Got you.
Very worried about that now. This one is-
But I'll say yes when the things come. I'm learning here also.
Yes.
And go for that opportunity. Everyone should actually listen in, and if you want to do
100%.
something, just go for it. Like this, you just asked me, do you want to be on the show? I just said yes.
You did.
I wasn't even dressed.
But be
I'm
ready.
wearing work clothes.
But he was ready.
Yeah.
Like Tracey said, guys, say yes and figure it out later. Because the journey is never one line. It gives you curves, obstacles, but you can do it.
I actually want to hear from people, what interesting things did they say yes to in the comments?
Yeah, from the
Oh, that's
man.
a good
Ah.
idea. Yeah, they changed their lives for the better.
100%. So yeah, like you said,
Yes to something that changed your life, not,
Yeah.
not the yes because my friend said jump off a bridge.
No.
Give me the yes. That's actually a good story because we can inspire more people.
what Jamie said. But not the jumping off the bridge. Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight right here on Reality Bites and to sit in with this inspiring woman for being so amazing. Tracey, love you.
Thank you. Love you lots, always.
And love you guys. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and comment your yes.
Comment your yes.
Comment your yes. All right, guys, until next time, thank you.
See you.